What's going on, guys? Christian here, co-founder at ListKit, and in this video I want to go over a very important principle that most people do not even recognize in their business, and it is called sales velocity, particularly coming from cold email. So as you know, as a business owner, as a marketer, a salesperson, the only thing keeping your business going, the lifeblood of your business, is how many new customers or new clients you're signing every single day, every single week, every single month. And something I see really commonly with cold email campaigns is people will get to a point where they have maximum capacity at their agency, they have too many customers, they have to fulfill too much work, and they turn off their cold email campaigns completely and have no lead flow in the pipeline when they want to resume client acquisition in 3 months from now. So I want to show you guys why, first of all, why you should always have your cold email campaigns running, and second of all, what happens if you do shut your campaigns off and try to reboot them, 2-3 months down the line. So scenario one, let's say that you never turn your cold email campaigns off and they're running nonstop. Let's say, month one of turning your cold email campaigns on, you get 4 booked calls, 4 deals in the pipeline, because your sales cycle is long. The cold email campaigns take a while to kick in. It's just a long process to go from cold email sent to booked call to closed deal, contract signed, cash collected, right? So month number 2, your cold email campaigns ramped up fully, and now you're booking 10 calls in the month of July, let's say, because it's almost June right now. So month 2, you book 10 calls. Now there's 6 deals in the pipeline, and then you signed 1 closed deal, 3 dead leads because the other 3 in the pipeline didn't close, 25% close rate, right? And now month 3, let's say you keep the volume the exact same as the month before. You're doing the same strategy, everything's the same. You book 10 more calls, and now there's 12 deals in the pipeline, 3 closed deals, and then there's 4 more, so 7 dead leads, right? So you can see how the progression of a cold email campaign is very linear, and it goes from A to B to C to D over time, because this time horizon has to play out in order for you to get to this point. So you're booking 4 calls in month 1. None of them are closing because your sales cycle is still playing out. So there's 4 deals in the pipeline. Month 2, one of those deals went over the pipe or the finish line from here and closed, and the other 3 went to dead leads, and you generated 10 more booked calls, 6 more deals in the pipeline. So this closed deal and these 3 dead leads are the results of these 4 calls booked in month 1, and then the 6 deals in the pipeline are the direct result of 10 calls in month 2, and then by month 3, you have these 6 deals still in the pipeline, you have 6 more deals in the pipeline, and then you have the existing lead flow coming up here, right? I don't even know if this math is correct, but the logic makes sense. A booked call and a deal in the pipeline turns into a closed deal in the next month, and then the pipeline just keeps funneling into more deals. This is what happens when you keep your cold email campaigns running at all times. Okay, so let's say client fulfillment bottleneck happens right here, and you have to turn off your cold email campaigns, or you're going to shoot yourself in the foot and ruin your fulfillment process, right? Theoretically, if you shut them off, you're going to lose all the deal flow and everything's going out the window. But let's say you keep the campaigns running and you turn the volume down so you can still get the campaigns, keep them running, but you're just booking less calls, right? That's completely fine. So now you have 4 booked calls in the 4th month, and that leads to, 2 deals in the pipeline. And then from this 12, let's say you close 3, and then you have a bunch of dead leads. Dead leads, right? So after the closed deals are the dead leads. So by now, you're still running cold email campaigns, and now you have these 3 deals are done, and you have to fulfill. These ones are dead, but you still have those 2 new deals in the pipeline that wouldn't exist if you shut off your cold email campaigns once you hit the bottleneck, right? So like literally month 5, if you just keep this going at the same rate, you're booking 4 calls a month, you're adding 2 deals to your pipeline, and you're closing, 1 closed deal a month, right? So that's what happens when you keep your cold email campaigns running at a lower volume. Even if you have a fulfillment bottleneck, you're still taking on 1 extra client a month that way, right? Does that make sense? You're still taking on a client a month, even though you can't really handle the lead flow, but you're keeping the cold email campaigns on, because in scenario 2, I want to show you what happens when you shut off your cold email campaigns, and when you desperately need leads, you're going to turn your cold email campaigns back on, and the leads and the deal flow just aren't going to be there, right? So here's what happens when you shut the cold email campaigns off completely. Ready? So let's say, or actually let's go here, right? Client fulfillment bottleneck fixed. You now have all of these dead leads to re-engage because you have a new offer or a more optimized offer. You still have deals in the pipeline, and you still have old booked calls that you've not re-engaged for. They're still a good fit, right? So there's a lot of booked calls, a lot of deals in the pipeline that you can re-engage once this bottleneck is fixed. Here's what happens when you shut cold emails off completely. So we're going to get to that same point where the client fulfillment bottleneck takes place. Client fulfillment bottleneck takes place, and then in month 4, you have 0 calls, 0 deals, 0 contracts signed, right? You're still working on your bottleneck, and for the next month, you have 0 calls, 0 deals, 0 contracts signed. And you're like, oh, this is fine. I don't need any deal flow right now. I don't even care if I have no calls. I have to work on my existing clients. Once the bottleneck is fixed, you literally have to start acquiring clients again, and you get to month 6, and instead of starting out, up here with 4 booked calls with deals in the pipeline ready to close, you're back to square one with 4 booked calls, 4 in the pipeline. 0 deals, right? So like the first month that you turn your campaigns back on, let's say you take a little bit of a dip in revenue because some of these clients churn while you were working on your fulfillment. When you go to turn the campaigns back on, there's no deals to be found for a whole month. If you as a business owner went a whole month when you needed clients without signing a client, would that stress you out? Yes. Would you panic a little bit? Yes. Would you be anxious? Yes. It's so easily avoidable by keeping your cold emails running at all times. Hopefully this makes sense, right? So finally, month 7 hits, and you're like, okay, I really need to sign clients. Like, let's ramp this up a little bit. You get up to the 10 booked calls, the 6 deals in the pipeline, and the 1 closed deal. So like, okay, you closed 1 deal in 2 months out of this when you had to restart your cold email campaigns from scratch, because when you restart your cold email campaigns, the whole cycle has to play out again where you're only booking calls in the first month. There's deals in the pipeline. Then in month 2, the sales cycle plays out with a couple leads. And then the sales cycle for the new leads has to play out. Like, the residual value of cold email takes time because you have to generate the call, move it to a contract, sign the deal, right? It plays out over a couple months. And if you turn off this cycle, like the hamster wheel of deal flow, you have to restart it from scratch. And it takes 1 to 2 months to get it up to speed to where you're signing clients consistently. You see what I mean? So if you turn cold emails off, you literally have to restart this entire process. And it's going to take 30 to 60 days just to sign a client. Whereas if you turn back, or if you have cold emails sending at a lower volume when you fix your bottleneck, when you turn it back on in month 6, you're booking the 4 calls per month, 4 calls booked plus the 4 brand new calls booked. So now you have 8 calls booked. You already doubled your output, right? In month 6 here, with no campaigns running, you had to restart. You're booking 4 calls with 4 fresh deals in the pipeline. Here, you're booking 8 calls because you're booking the original 4 from the old volume plus the new volume, 8 calls. You have the 2 old deals in the pipeline, right? So like one of them closed, so the other one's still in the pipeline, 1 deal in the pipeline, plus 2 new deals in pipe, and you close another deal from the old leads that are just sitting there, right? So you see what I mean? Like, the residual value is there because you're booking calls from the previous volume, you're booking new calls from ramping the volume back up, and you have the old deals in the pipeline from before. So let's compare month 6 when you turn cold email campaigns off versus when you keep them running. So just to wrap this video up, in month 6, if you start from scratch, you're literally booking 4 calls, you have 4 deals in the pipeline, right? And you have no deals. Up here, you're booking 8 calls, you're getting 1 deal from the previous lead flow in month 5, and I actually messed this up. This is 5 deals in the pipeline, because we have the 4 that we would have if we started fresh, plus the residual 1 from the last month. 8 calls booked, 5 deals in the pipeline, and a closed deal from re-engaging one of these leads up from the previous months. You see what I mean? Whereas if you shut campaigns off, there's no one to re-engage from the past 2 months because your campaigns were off. So even, moral of the story, even if you don't need the lead flow right now, keep your cold email campaigns on because it's going to keep your sales velocity churning. It's going to keep residual deal flow in your pipeline. Like, if you re-engage somebody from 3 months ago in month 6, they're probably not going to respond to you because they don't even remember who you are at this point. Their business has changed. They went out of business. they sold their company. So much can change in 3 months. Whereas here, if you're re-engaging a lead from the previous month or two, there's a lot higher of a chance that you can re-engage them and put them in your pipeline in month 6 to close a deal. Whereas in month 6, with no cold emails running the previous 2 months, it's going to be extremely, extremely hard to close a deal, and you're going to have to wait 30 plus days to close a deal from cold email. Disclaimer on all of this is cold email specific pipeline. If you're getting deals from ads, SEO, marketing, content marketing, whatever, that's completely independent of this. I'm saying from cold email alone, if you want to generate deal flow, once you fix a fulfillment bottleneck, keep your campaigns running, because it's going to be significantly easier to close a deal when you turn the pipeline back on, ramp the pipeline back up, as opposed to starting fresh in month 6. Hopefully this helped. Drop a thumbs up if you like this. Subscribe to the channel. Peace.